DC versus Vampires, issue 8, James Tynion the fourth, and Matthew Rosenberg writing, with Otto Schmidt on the art. So this issue is kind of a transition issue in that we kind of formed the plans that the various groups of characters were going to do last issue. This issue kind of ends with them all on their way to do those things. So this issue is very much just kind of the prep and the kind of the like Black Canary trying to talk Oliver out of doing his like crazy run where he's going to try and save people at the Kent farm and things like that.
Farms. Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of comedy early on with Damien being a little shit about the House of Mystery. And why is it not the House of Secrets? Are they different? What's the point of... isn't Secrets mysterious, so aren't they both technically mysterious?
I do love that, but I also just love the concept of constantly, like, just don't think about it too much. It's magic.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's going there for their help and stuff. Dinah tries to talk Oliver out of going, but realizes she's not going to be able to, and they kind of have this heart-to-heart, so they end up spending a night together before they're going to go off and do this. A lot of other magic-based characters show up at the House of Mystery later in the issue, led by Jason Blood. So,
Yeah, so the magic casters are trying to they're trying to purge out at the House of Secrets, right? They're trying to purge out the vampirism, but it just seems to be them killing the vampires. So it's almost as if there's like not exactly a cure. And then that's when there's the knock on the door with Jason Blood and his group. It looks like a vampires, right?
Yeah. It says he's here to have everyone forget something. And then we have Supergirl feeling very,
vulnerable.
Ryan Choi ends up giving her a bit of a pep talk about how she's still Supergirl, and he's worried that she's up in this ledge on this building in the city, and like because if you don't remember, they're in the Kandor bottled city. Yeah,
they're Nightlight, and so she doesn't have any of her Kryptonian powers. And so he's like, how about you just not sit on that ledge because you're not invulnerable anymore?
Yeah. It's a fair point. And obviously they're pinning a lot of hope on her, and if she gets to Australia and is able to, get to the sun and whatever. So, and then we also have Barbara having these nightmares, and it's like these steamy vampire romance nightmares between Dick and Starfire. Yeah. So she's waking up, in the cold sweat as you do, still obsessed with killing him and stuff. And Constantine is there, and he is just bloody and beaten to hell.
Burned, it looks like.
Yeah, but he doesn't remember, and that ties into what Jason Blood said. He's here to make them forget something, so he doesn't remember exactly what happened. So yeah, so she basically is just like, go to Gotham and kill that bastard Dick Grayson. So like I say, this issue is largely a lot of setup. Babs goes to get Harley, who's currently held captive by Thinker and Professor Peg, and
such a good scene.
Yeah, basically, beats the crap out of them. Harley, when she gets out, starts beating them up. Frankenstein, who's kind of working as their henchman, turns sides and offers these services to the girls by the end, because he believes in what they're doing more. Yeah,
I like his working with them is because it's the old Spock quote, right? The needs of the few, or what's it from Star Trek 2? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
There you go.
Yeah, he's only working with them because her blood can kill vampires. But then when he sees like, oh no, these girls are way more noble, I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah.
Or with her.
Because keep in mind, Harley has the Lex blood in her, the magic stuff. So there's a little bit of awkward comedy here. I feel like Harley's joke about wanting a TV with unlimited porn felt a bit forced to me.
It's again, I feel it's Rosenberg not writing a voice that I like for Harley. It's not necessarily wrong. It just doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt a bit. I don't know.
It made me roll my eyes. I was like, ugh.
Overly edgy, I guess. But yeah. So, and obviously, Black Canary's there as well. Supergirl and Steel are on the ship going towards Australia. Black Manta's there.
Yep.
But of course, they've attracted the attention of Atlanteans and the creatures that Arthur holds control over, and they're getting attacked. And it's like, well, we're going to have to fight our whole way there now. So yeah, fun stuff. But then, of course, they do get a bit of a rescue. Jaina shows up, And as we sort of saw a glimpse of before, she now has both her and her brother's powers and can make water-based animals.
Yeah, I was so happy they explained that. Like, they didn't have to, but her going like, somehow I have his power too, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, she makes a big water tiger basically, and
it's bust out. It took me a second to realize what was happening because the art's pretty good, right? It's Otto Schmidt, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, for a second, I was like, is this a Beast Boy thing? Like, what? And then when she said, like, yeah, I became water and they breathed me in, and then I just reformed into this tiger, this monster. And I was like, all right, that's pretty metal. That's pretty great.
Yeah, because she rips out of some dude, like, you know, this Atlantean soldier or whatever, like, you know, he rips in half as she comes out of him. It's a pretty hardcore concept. So she's there to help Supergirl and co deal with their mission, and the final page is just this split three panel page. Yep. The first one is the group going on the way to Gotham, which is Batgirl, Harley, Canary, and Frankenstein. The middle one's just Oliver on his own on his way to the Kent farm, and the third one's on the ship with Supergirl, Steel, and Black Manta. So, you know, like, I don't have a whole lot to say about this issue. I think it did a good job in that it feels like it is building up to a big showdown in all three locations. But as an issue on its own, there's not like a whole lot of big, swings, for itself. If that makes sense.
I really the high point to me was the Atom talking with Supergirl. I thought that was a really nice to kind of current in a world without hope. Why hope is important. I do like that because I feel like my one thing I'm not enjoying so much on the book is how down and dour it all seems. It seems very, very hopeless in a way where, like, Deceased should have had that feeling, but I feel like Taylor was really good at balancing it, right? Where it felt like all is lost, but there's still, as long as our heroes stand. But I feel here in this vampires universe, it's reverse. It's like they're almost doomed to fail, and I don't like reading that. Like, it bums me out. But it doesn't make it good or bad. It's just my enjoyment of it affects. So, but the art, I feel like Schmidt here is back on form. There were a couple issues where it was a little bit early on, it's a little bit off, but here it's back, and the design he gave Babs in her vampire armor, I think, looks really cool. So
I think what I liked about this issue, and it's built to like the big showdowns that are coming in all three of the plot lines, is it gave all of those characters kind of a moment or a scene to, because Supergirl had her moment with Ryan to kind of like set up her fears, her like kind of like this weight of the world that's kind of on her shoulders right now. Both Black Canary and Oliver obviously both benefited from their conversation where it kind of sets up why they both need to do what they feel they need to do. Barbara having her nightmares about Dick, because obviously that's a very mixed emotions for her because she's in love with him, but now he's this monster that has to be killed. Like I thought it did a good job of like sort of giving them all something. So it really set up, okay, these are our main characters for getting into this back chunk of the run. But just cool. And it's nice for some of these characters to get a spotlight, which is cool. So, and Jaina got a big entrance. Her big entrance was glorious.
That's
nice.
My other big moment. I liked that. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I do like how they worked that in. So,
yeah. All right. What are you giving DC versus Vampires issue 8?
Yeah, this one a 7.
I'll go 7.5. I think. I think it's a good transition issue and build issue.